राज्यं
वदामि भवतां सरेशम् दिव्यं वदामि भवतां च नित्यम् आत्मोन्नतिं योगपरेम नित्यम् पूर्णो वदामि भवतां श्रियं च.
This verse has been quoted in Yoga Sutra, a text written by Brahmarishi Vasishtha, which till date remains unpublished. Sage Vasishtha wrote 11 books in his life, and among these, the Yoga Vasishtha has been considered to be the most invaluable. The reason for this is that only this text has been published, while the rest, having been lost in the oblivions of time, remained unpublished. It is really very unfortunate that during the 300 years of the British rule in India, most of our precious texts were either destroyed or were taken away to Tibet. Among these texts, Yoga Sutra is unique, but no scholar has till date come across it. On the basis of the above verse taken from this very text, I am going to reveal to you a fact which in itself is very significant. Vasishtha was a great and complete Rishi. Complete here denotes that he had deeply gone into all the aspects which are important for the all-round success in life. Through the medium of yoga, he raised his life to great spiritual, transcendental heights by attaining the state of Brahma. His views on the significance of Brahma and yoga in ascetic life are accepted with reverence even to this day. In those times, there used to be a great conflict of thoughts as to why Vasishtha was called Brahmarishi and why other ascetics could not be Brahmarishis. Vishwamitra too was a contemporary of Vasishtha, as Vasishtha was considered to be the most honored and scholarly sage of those times. On several occasions, Vishwamitra had said to him, "I too am a Brahmarishi. If you have realized the Brahma, I too have achieved its realization. Just like you, I too have been to Brahmaloka. Then why doesn't the ascetic community accept me too as a Brahmarishi?" Whenever meeting or a gathering of sages took place, Vasishtha would preside, and welcoming Vishwamitra, he would say, "Come Rajarajeshwari, be seated." Hearing these words, Vishwamitra would seethe with anger and say, "Am I a mere Rajarshi? Why am I not a Brahmarishi? What is so inferior in me?" But instead of answering to his anxious queries, Vasishtha would say, "Rajarshi, please take your seat." And thus Vishwamitra would have no alternative but to sit down. One day, Vishwamitra, in a fit of fury, decided to wipe out the lineage of Vasishtha. "I shall obliterate all signs of Vasishtha's progeny from this world," he thought. "This shall surely teach him a lesson, and he shall learn to address me as a Brahmarishi." Shataputrom Vayo Vasishtha Sam Purnatva Sahadvitiyam Cha. Vasishtha had 100 sons. All were unique and intelligent. Through the powers of his tapa, Vishwamitra killed all of them one by one within a period of 1 month. When the next meeting took place, all the sages present knew about this heinous deed, but no one had the courage to incur the wrath of Vishwamitra. Hence everyone remained quiet. Even Vasishtha knew everything, but when Vishwamitra arrived, he welcomed him as usual, saying, "Come Rajarshi, maybe whatever you did was essential in your life. Please take a seat." On hearing himself still being addressed as a Rajarshi, Vishwamitra said to himself, "It seems that I shall have to do away with Vasishtha too. When he shall not be here, then who shall dare to call me a Rajarshi?" Vishwamitra always used to dress up as a warrior, carrying bow, arrows and a sword. Fearlessly he used to wander about in the forests, and in the ascetic society, no one dared to face his wrath. In fact, there have been only 2 rishis, Vishwamitra and Durvasa, who were very short-tempered and still reached great spiritual heights. In the meeting, Vasishtha, even after the loss of his 100 sons, had said, "Come Vishwamitra, come Rajarshi, take your seat." Vishwamitra's eyes blazed with the fire of his anger, and he decided, "Today I shall kill Vasishtha. My mantras will have no effect on him, as he has reached the Brahmapad and is protected by the divine armor of Brahma. Hence I shall have to kill him with some weapon." To Vasishtha he said, "Speak whatever you want to, for today is the last day of your life. Tonight either you or I shall remain on this earth." The night had set in, and it was around 10 or 11 o'clock. Vasishtha was lying peacefully in his ashram, and his wife Katyayani was gently massaging his feet. At that moment, Katyayani asked Vasishtha, "Among all the ascetics and sages today, who is the most accomplished?" Vasishtha said, "Katyayani, people call me the greatest sage, when in fact Vishwamitra is the best of all. No one is more accomplished in tapasya than him." Katyayani was astounded. "Vishwamitra, the one who killed our 100 sons?" Vasishtha looked at his surprised wife and said, "For killing 100 persons, one has to spend a lot of powers of one's sadhana and penance. Vishwamitra has spent so much powers, and still there is a radiance, there is an aura around his face. Otherwise, after carrying out such a heinous act, he would have ended up as a sinful wretch. There is no sannyasi of his stature. No one is more accomplished than him in the entire Aryan race." At that very moment, Vishwamitra was standing outside the ashram and listening to the talk going on inside. He said to himself, "I have killed his 100 sons, and still he should be abusing me, but no. He is saying that Vishwamitra is a unique personality." With remorse and shame, his eyes were filled with tears, and at once he threw his weapons aside. He entered the hut and caught hold of the feet of Vasishtha. Seeing him, Vasishtha said, "Come Brahmarishi, sit down." Hearing these words, Vishwamitra said, "If you had addressed me as a Brahmarishi earlier, why would I have killed your 100 sons?" With a complacent smile on his face, Vasishtha said, "Today I see no signs of a Rajarshi on your body. No bow, arrows, no sword, nothing. You look a real Brahmin. When I used to see you carrying weapons, I called you Rajarshi. Today you are empty-handed, with tears of humbleness flowing from your eyes. Hence I call you a Brahmarishi. You are now a Brahmarishi." Vishwamitra was moved by Vasishtha's kindness, and he brought back to life all his sons that very moment. Thus, through his forgiving nature and his ability to control his anger, Vasishtha became such a unique sage. In a text written by him, he has elucidated those rules following which one can merge one's soul with the divine conscience. Through them, an atom can gain the vastness of the universe, and a drop can become an ocean. The coming together of a drop with the ocean is called yoga, which means to bring together two things. The facts revealed by Vasishtha in Yoga Sutra are unique. Some practices of yoga are still prevalent in this world, one of them being Ashtanga Yoga, which is a set of yogic exercises through which one can keep the body and the mind perfectly healthy. It is explained in this text how we can unravel the subtle mysteries present in the human body and soul. After Vasishtha, several rishis raised this rare knowledge to high levels in the society. In those times, although Vasishtha was the most revered of all sages, yet in the field of astrology, his knowledge was very limited. As he could not determine an auspicious moment, he could not in real terms become a guru. Once, when Vasishtha was the family guru of Lord Rama, the preparations for the coronation of Lord Rama were going on in full swing. Vasishtha too had made all arrangements for the Rajtilak, but time turned its tide and Rama was exiled for 14 years and had to take resort in a forest. Vasishtha never knew beforehand what was in store for the Lord in the future. What was the reason for this? Why could he not forecast the coming turn of events? He said, Hani Labh Jivan Maran Yash Apyash Prabhu Hath, that is, nothing is in my hands, only God holds the cards of a man's fate. If you do not have anything in your hands, said all the sages, you cannot be a guru.